Whenever you guys are ready, this is ready.
Over Jackie's, Michelle and Steve are staying there.
Oh, yes.
Wait, am I? Yeah,
You're number 4.
I don't know. I'm not bad at counting, guys.
And the mayor needs to be local.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Voorhees Township Committee meeting of January 22nd, 2024. Please rise and join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Febroy, present. Mr. Platt?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Ravitz?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nacito? Here. Mayor Mignona?
Here.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Due notice this meeting has been published by the clerk in both the Courier Post and Inquirer newspapers, as well as electronic notice as required by law. Also, a copy of the annual meeting notice has been posted on the bulletin board outside the Township Clerk's office.
Thank you. Our first matter this evening is the first reading of an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-45.14. Do I have a motion on the first reading of that ordinance?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Next is our public comment for resolutions only. If anyone from the public has a comment on any of our resolutions this evening, please come forward.
Seeing no one, move to close public portion. Are you coming up to speak, sir, on the resolutions? Oh, okay, sorry. Move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The public portion for resolutions is closed. Our resolutions this evening are resolution number 54-24, authorizing the cancellation of appropriations retroactive to December 31, 2023. Resolution number 55-24, authorizing the award of a contract under a cooperative pricing agreement for municipal management software through the Bergen County Cooperative Pricing System. Number 56-24, authorizing the award of a contract under a cooperative pricing agreement for the purchase of one excavator through the Sourcewell Cooperative Pricing System. Number 57-24, authorizing the award of a contract under a cooperative pricing agreement for the purchase of one 20-ton trailer through the Sourcewell Cooperative Pricing System. Resolution number 58-24, authorizing the award of a contract under a cooperative pricing agreement for the purchase of one Game Time 2-bay swing frame with swings through the Education Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System, Elliott Drive Playground. Resolution number 59-24, supporting the Delaware Valley Regional Commission's project for the roadway improvements made to the intersection of Whitehorse Road, County Road 673, and Burnt Mill Road, County Road 670, located in the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden. Resolution number 60-24, authorizing the release of a performance guarantee and accepting a maintenance guarantee for Voorhees Storage LLC. Number 61-24, authorizing the approval of change order number 1 for the Myrota Park Improvements Project. Resolution number 62-24, authorizing Voorhees Township through the Voorhees Township Police Department to participate in the Defense Logistics Agency Law Enforcement Supportive Office 1033 program to enable the Voorhees Township Police Department to request and acquire excess Department of Defense equipment. Resolution number 63-24, amending certain records of the tax assessor. Number 64-24, authorizing a person-to-person liquor license transfer for Catelli Duo LLC. Number 65-24, amending resolution number 38-24 to reflect appointment terms to be 90 days. Number 66-24, appointing Sean Temple to the position of full-time building maintenance worker in the Voorhees Township Administration Department. Resolution number 67-24, approving the hiring of Maximo Alberto to the position of police officer in the Voorhees Township Police Department. Number 68-24, approving the hiring of Kelsey Brown to the position of police officer in the Voorhees Township Police Department. And resolution number 69-24, confirming the rescission of the appointment for employment for Wyan Belozos from the Voorhees Township Police Department. Do I have a motion for approval of those resolutions?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I will make a motion to table Resolution 70-24. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
That is tabled. There's no need for an executive session this evening. Next is approval of our minutes of December 27th, 2023, our municipal court report for December 2023, our tax collector's report for December 31, 2023, our registrar's report for December 2023, bills for January 8th, 2024, and bills for January 22nd, 2024. Do I have a motion for approval of those?
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Next section is comments from our committee. Any comments from our committee this evening?
It's nice to see people here.
Our next portion is our public portion for comments. If anyone from the public has any comments, please come forward. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Tom Kenny. I live at 22 Wilderness Drive. And I have a question about a resolution that was passed back in 2018. I live on 22 Wilderness, and there's a, I guess it was, name of the company, Pineland LLC. They want to develop the property next to the Busby landfill. There's a house back there that has been unoccupied for 10 years now, maybe, at least. And there was a resolution passed that it was going to be demolished, and it's still there.
Great.
And I was just wondering what's going on. I know I was at the planning board meeting last year with this whole thing going on. It's kind of, I guess, going away for now. But it's kind of a, something on the mind of the residents about if this is developed, with all the chemicals and everything that's running through the property and so on and so forth.
Did the applicant ever, was the EPA's?
He's never gotten all his
Yeah,
necessary
I thought that they asked us to table it, and I'm on the planning board, so is Mario.
Right.
We have to be careful what we say, because it's I guess an ongoing application. But if you were at that meeting, I think we asked them to rerun or pull out modern EPA reporting, environmental reporting, and they wanted to rely on rather old dated stuff.
Right.
And I thought, I'm jogging my memory, I thought that was, they asked for a continuance or something the last time they were on the agenda, right?
Yes.
So it's never come
Yeah, I
back.
know there was supposedly documents coming from General Electric they were supposed to
Yeah,
get.
we haven't
I've
seen-
talked to
we've
the
been
attorney
presented
at
nothing.
General Electric and the environmental consultant and everything. And they
We've been
said they're
presented
not gonna do
nothing.
anything.
So,
Yeah.
sir, how long have you lived there for?
Since 1986.
How long, so you've been staring at the empty house for 10 years?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, how do you feel about that? I mean, obviously you have questions, but what?
Yeah, it, obviously, it was being vandalized. I think there were kids in there partying,
Okay.
having parties.
I think that's important for people to hear your concerns, because I
Yeah.
personally believe that we should have already knocked it down, so I just want to make sure that everyone understands.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just the
We've had this
development in
discussion a
general.
few
There's a
times.
lot of concerns with the neighborhood about,
Yeah, Chris is the
Issues,
township
so-
attorney, so
Yeah,
I don't want to say what I can't.
Yeah, so there's some issues that happened that slowed it down a little bit. Between myself and Steve and the administrator, we'll
Mhm.
certainly look back into it and try to
we'll
get
get
that
an
knocked down
application
as quick as we can.
Particularly if it's a safety issue.
Right.
If people
We,
go
the
into
plan,
it.
look back, you guys will look back at what the,
Yeah,
look at the
exactly.
record to what the planning board
Exactly.
asked,
Yeah.
what I'm referencing,
Mhm.
and you could get specifics on, if you look at the minutes.
And we'll push that to the forefront.
okay.
So
Right.
that resolution actually predates my time on committee. I think I'm familiar with the property largely due to Deputy Mayor Nacito's concern about it. That said, it sounds like that there may be, and I'd ask our solicitor and administrator to look into, an option whereby the structure itself is demolished in advance of the applicant's development in any case. So maybe that's something that we can look into.
And the other thing is sometimes no news with development applications, in my experience on the planning board, and Mario, I'm sure would second this, is sometimes no news is good news. that,
Yeah.
because we haven't heard, I mean, they'll dig
Right.
We'll
deep for you
yeah,
guys.
We'll dig through it and.
Yeah, I mean,
and
the
come
last
up with a
planning board
resolution.
meeting I went to, and then it was canceled, and then the
Right.
next one was canceled
Yeah.
because they weren't showing.
It's not us canceling it.
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
right. What I understood, they weren't delivering what they were supposed to deliver,
Yeah.
and then I heard the
Yeah,
developer
after the
pulled out.
meeting,
Who
It's
wanted to
possible.
build it, because D.R. Horton wanted to buy the property.
Right, they were
And-
joint venturing, right?
Yeah, and I know at the one meeting I sat at, he turned around
Yeah.
to, I think, the sister,
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Samos, and
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
no way. And
Yeah, yeah.
They kind
I-
of died from there.
I think Steven could meet with you after
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
after
Steve
this
will
meeting,
talk to you
I'll
after
have
the
her
meeting.
contact information, so that when we get that information, I can.
Okay,
take it up
great.
to you, right?
I feel very passionate about that
Yeah.
resolution.
She's not lying.
Very
Very
much.
good.
She's telling you.
In my,
She wanted it knocked down. That resolution was done.
No, I'll
From
get her a
Michelle, yes.
hammer and some saws and.
I'll meet you
so-
there.
Hey, we don't see anything if you do something in the middle of the day.
and I really don't think they're going to hear anything from GE. We work with GE when we had the landfill, the portion we're allowed on now.
Yeah,
GE was 100%, we don't want to talk to you, we don't
Yep.
want anyone near this property because we're protecting our deep pockets, and that's what we're doing.
right.
I don't think they're going to hear anything from GE, it's going to let them develop that property. And I think
Yeah, I spoke with the in-house counsel with
Yeah.
GE, actually, and she told me
they,
the same thing.
they
so-
don't, yeah, that was,
Well,
that
nothing
was
to do with
20
this.
years ago talking with them, that was their mantra, and it still is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mr. Kenny.
before the meeting ends, I'm gonna come grab you, okay?
You can come.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Seth Donkochik. I'm a resident of Rural Avenue. I live at 1024 Rural Avenue. I'm here with just about 20 other residents of our street. I'm here
Hi,
to address,
I said hello, welcome to everybody.
and Headwood Court also, which is a dead-end court on Rural Avenue. I'm here to address an ongoing situation that we have with harassment, speeding, reckless driving, attempted arson, assault. The residents from 8 Headwood Court, I imagine many of you know who this is, are an ongoing, worsening problem that at this rate, if it continues to get worse, something terrible is going to happen. All 3 drivers in that household, should I call them by name? Is that okay here?
Yeah, you're entitled to. say
Marcia,
whatever you wish.
Joshua, and Michael Van Hook. They have a pattern of repeated behavior. It is worsening. What the Township Prosecutor's Office and courts have been doing is not working. It is not enough. There are also, so then, the court, these people have been caught. They've been ticketed. They've been, pardon me for a sec. The Township Court has historically, I've been on the street for 5 years. While I've been paying attention, the Township Court historically takes months to occasionally over a year to prosecute cases and tickets. While this is happening, these people lash out. We live on this street and we are subject to their retaliation. So while a court can sit in while a case can sit in the court for months, 6 months, we endure over and over retaliation, reckless driving, insults, horns in the middle of the night. They will drive down the street and they will accelerate right at you and swerve off at the last minute. And this goes on repeatedly, not just at me, but at all of the people here. All of these people are here because they have been subject to this also. And I can only imagine if you put a dollar value on every time the township is called and the police come out, how many thousands of dollars, and the courts, I mean, what does this cost? And what will it cost when something terrible happens? You know, we all know about it. What's been tried is not working. So this was really bad when we had a case, we were told, call and file a complaint yourself. You can sign a complaint. It went nowhere. The prosecutor was really trying to downplay it. She was, in my opinion, she was very soft. She did we had an arson case against her house. We had somebody try and set fire to our house. It's not here on the case list because she expunged.
She put it as harassment.
She put it as harassment. So this was in 2020.
October 2021.
It's my wife, Carrie.
He did this to our
So-
home and then went to Berlin and did the same thing to another home. Berlin charged it as arson. Our court
So-
charged it as harassment, and all we got was a 1-year no contact out of it. And that was in retaliation for us taking the other brother to the Voorhees court
This
for
is-
harassment of our family, which went on for a whole year of the delay.
This is my example of where things have been, and the township court isn't curbing this behavior. This is where it's going to go again. I mean, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, and I see this all the time. I have emailed you. I have emailed the chief. I have emailed with Stephen Steglick just recently. We had a real. I didn't have any faith in Judge Diamond after having sat through his court. He was just keeping the seat warm. The prosecutor said, "Oh, we'll have him address them at the outcome of the trial." It went nowhere. He didn't address them. He treated me like I was the person that was in the wrong. I am hopeful that the new judge is made aware of this situation and actually has some teeth to pursue this in a way that has a meaningful result for us. Okay.
We
Yeah.
actually printed out 2 copies that you guys can look at of the 20 open cases with these family members. This
Yeah.
copy they're highlighted, 20 open cases, some are 10 months old. Just to highlight, that's what the 3 family members are talking about. How long these cases have been sitting open and how long they're lasting.
So, I mean, one of the sons has got 10 tickets last March. The repercussions of some of these tickets that he got last March could potentially suspend his license, but it hasn't happened because I don't know why. Meanwhile, he's gotten tickets in Berlin. Those have been disposed. He's gotten tickets in Atlantic City. Those have been disposed. He's gotten tickets in Cherry Hill. Those have been disposed. They always get taken care of within a month, within a few weeks, at most 2 months. But the Voorhees court is just dragging its feet. And we have been in touch with Officer Kavanaugh and Officer Bruckaleri. They've been fantastic. They've been very proactive. We're doing all we can. We're writing these tickets. We need for the court to do something with, I mean, that's all they can do. They're doing what they can. I believe that they want to help us. They say they want to help us. But if the township court can't take it to the next level, then the township court isn't protecting the residents. And at that point, what are we going to do? I'm not going to sign a complaint against these people if the township court isn't going to back
Are
me
these all
up.
DMV? We're just trying to make, I can't believe someone has a,
Yeah, these are traffic.
who
Well,
brings
I mean,
up this amount of tickets?
That speaks for itself. I don't need to speak anything about these people. Those pages right there.
Yeah. These are traffic violations. I know, Mayor.
You were,
No, I know, yeah, I'm trying to see what's DMV.
People who have harassment complaints open since July.
Okay.
you're,
What's your, I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm Heather Robertson.
Hi, Heather.
This is my husband, Andrew.
Hi,
Good evening.
nice to meet you.
I'm going to step down for a few
No,
minutes.
I wanted to mention something to you too while you're there.
Okay.
But.
And you can stay up to get,
You're correct in that these should have been taken care of a long time ago. I understand that, well, we have a new judge, as you may or may not know, Judge Fabietti. Unfortunately, Judge Diamond passed away. We have a new judge, and it's my understanding from the deputy chief who was here this evening that the matters were listed today before Judge Fabietti. Neither of the defendants appeared, nor did their attorney, for whatever reason, appear. And the judge issued warrants against, I think, $1,000 bond for each, Deputy Chief?
yes.
And warrants for their arrest. I also understand that Judge Fabietti is listing these matters for a special session on the afternoon of February 12th to make sure that these things are moved forward, because it's taken far too long. I agree with you 100%.
I mean, I like to speak freely. I have a hard time believing that if any of you lived on our street, that this would still be going on. And I need for you to pretend that you live on our street and say, what about these people? I mean, everybody here pays taxes. We have a nice street. People jog from miles around to come to our street because it's very picturesque, beautiful, except for that, what we're talking about, the cars racing past them.
I also understand, and I think Mr. Stegler can address it, that he has already spoken this morning with our zoning office about addressing the issue of auto repair work being done in the home, which is illegal.
Thank you.
I on our call on Friday, I told you guys that I would do that first thing Monday morning. So I met with our zoning officer, told her to pull all the information that I know, that we know. Also included the information, thankfully, that you guys had shared with us as well, that you sent to me. And we'll be revisiting that as well. And I already spoke to her about our next options, our next steps.
How do people have driver's licenses with these kind of rap sheets?
Exactly. How are they paying their legal fees? How are they continually?
Well, it sounds like they're not coming and their lawyer's not coming, so I'm not sure that they are.
The legal fee stuff, not like our issue. I have, how is they're all bad.
There's a lot of fees though for the township that is being missed because they are not being.
I'm looking at all of them too. Berlin, Magnolia, Atlantic City.
The fees are one thing, but the safety of the neighborhood is certainly far more important than that.
Yeah, and so just, I want to say thank you for being here, and certainly you're correct. If I lived on your street or had a neighbor like you do who is quite less than neighborly, I certainly would be very upset. So please know that we all empathize and sympathize with you. I think that, a couple of the things, obviously, you need to stay in communication with our police department. It does sound like that there is action being taken with our new judge, who is, as you're aware, newly appointed after Judge Diamond's illness and untimely death. Mr. Salick will work with you on some of the code enforcement issues that he talked about, and I would also suggest that maybe we look at code enforcement at both the township and county level related to noise and health as well, and see if there are other non-criminal enforcement options that we can, meaning not police department side, our side of things.
Are these all no point tickets? Is that how this? Do you know?
No. Without looking, without each one.
It's
a lot of them appear that they are either not disposed of yet, which would not be points, or some of them have been downgraded to 0-point tickets. Just for example, like delaying traffic from Pemberton, 4-56, that's a no-point ticket. 4-67, obstructing passage, that's a no-point ticket. So those are typically not tickets that are written, but are downgraded, like 497.2 from Atlantic County, that's a no-point ticket.
But all of these reckless driving and Voorhees.
Those are
Point ticket.
Those are certainly point tickets.
And that's what's getting addressed. There's going to be a special.
Those are still active. So
and that's
correct.
all getting consolidated for this next hearing.
And two harassment.
And the harassment.
And there is more reckless driving that just has not been picked up.
Reported or picked up.
He got ran off the road twice by
so
Marcia Van Hook.
About 2 weeks ago, I was jogging on the left-hand side of the road, minding my business, jogging towards my house. As she was driving behind me, coming down Rural Ave, she raced up to me, went into the left side of the road, sped up to me, ran me off the road as she was honking. So I threw up my hands and I cursed, They slammed on their brakes. Seth and Carrie, they caught footage. They slammed on their brakes. All three of them came out, about to attack me, screaming homophobic slurs, racial slurs, and just about to attack me. And they just kept calling homophobic slurs. The mom, Marcia, was holding down her son because he was about to fight me. He spit at me twice. That was not caught on camera because, it was further from distance. And for me to just mind my own business, getting run off the road, honked at, and, getting attacked almost at the same time. And he was telling me to fight him when there's, all three of them combined is probably like 800 pounds. So that was, I'm scared to go out to jog. I'm scared to even leave the house because about 3 weeks ago, we were, blowing the leaves, doing stuff inside the house. Marcia drove down, she lives a house away from us. So what she did, she turned into the street, saw Heather stand in front, side of her house, doing lawn work, and she just called her names out of nowhere. So I asked her, I'm like, what's going on? And she told me, Marcia just called me, names. And I was just like, just leave it. I'm gonna blow my leaves. And next thing you know, Marcia, the older son, Josh, and some guy she's seen, went into the backyard. We could see each other across our backyard, and he started clapping his hands and calling me names. And I'm like, what's going on? I was like, I'm gonna keep blowing my leaves. And then I stopped, looked at him again, and he just started cursing at me. Marcia started cursing at me, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I'm minding my business in my own backyard. She's getting screamed at, I'm getting screamed at, and I told her, I was like, I'm gonna call the cops. And Josh said, you can call the cops, we're invincible, they won't do anything. And I said, you know what, I'm calling cops regardless. And the cops were nice enough to show up, and I told them what happened. Just as what happened, the cops talked to, got the report in, went to their house, within 5 minutes they were gone. So they're pretty much like laughing at the township, the police, that, they're invincible.
Yeah.
And the fact that,
I can assure you nobody is invincible.
Yeah, well, it sure
so,
seems like it could.
But this is now has the attention of everyone on committee, the attention of our administrator. Our court has had the special session called, which is a pretty extraordinary step under Judge Fabietti to really put a stop to this, because like you're saying, no one should be experiencing.
I have a question. Does Deputy Chief may know better, or one of the lawyers up here? Does bail reform, is that why so much of this is getting?
No, it's the problem is municipal court has always been, it's hard to get people to show up, to be honest. There's only so much they could do, such as issue the bench warrants. They can't physically go track them down and haul them into court at the municipal court level, unfortunately. So it is not common, but it does happen that defendants just don't show up.
So if someone's invisible with, there's subsequent offenses on there that are points tickets because there's reckless driving.
The point,
Can Superior Court, can it get remanded?
If it gets to that point, they can also increase the bench warrants, and then they could also increase the court costs if they continue non-appearances. So there are avenues to take.
No, but can Camden County, can Superior Court issue a warrant? I mean, there's a zillion charges on
there. There are. They could. We can certainly look into that on their level.
I mean, I think this is horrifying, and that
it's horrifying.
That they should, if there's a way to even elevate it.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about the safety for myself and all our neighbors. Like, we're all here. The kids, like, they 100%. Like to ride their bikes, play, and they race down like 40 miles on a small residential street.
They honk at us when we're walking our dogs.
And they race like up and down the cul-de-sac. Like, they literally, from the cul-de-sac back to the stop sign, they like slam on their like gas. And I'm like, why are you just slamming brakes just to go to the stop sign? Like, it makes no sense.
There's also a big key of this too, and we talked about this on Friday as well. And not to speak ill of somebody who's no longer with us, but the judge granted far and away too many delays for their attorney.
Yeah, I have tire marks in front of my house because they like to peel out in front of my house.
Yeah, they had one of their friends just.
I'm hopeful with our new judge that has been brought to the attention of our prosecutor. I know the deputy chief is very, very well aware of it, but the behavior has to stop. There's really no way around.
I'm not aware of a judge ever listing something for a special session. Yeah. So it's already
and requiring in-person appearances. There's no virtual appearances permitted.
Attention.
Yeah, we're absolutely terrified around our neighborhood. Like, we're afraid to walk. Like, we have people not wanting to come out and walk because we're afraid of getting run over.
And we're the loudest ones who will actually file complaints. A lot of people don't want to file a complaint because we're going to get retaliated against. Because I filed my first complaint against her 6 years ago, and it's still happening.
And I'm like targeted because I'm Asian, or because I'm targeted most right now. Like, I'm the one that she targets after when I'm jogging. So, if I were to get hurt, like, who's gonna be liable? Like,
and we can certainly look at those specifics. I'm not sure if we were aware of,
there was
that targeting, but there can be different and
Yeah.
I don't want to speak too much of the specifics,
Yeah, the
just
case is
this is not
open
the appropriate
since-
setting, but in terms of some additional charges that
Yeah.
could perhaps be
Because that
looked
was,
into.
we filed a report since last summer, and there was, that was a racial slur, and his time was a homophobic slur.
And that's kind of where
Yeah,
I'm getting
and
at.
that's what-
And that's
and
what
if
I'm
you
getting at
could-
without,
If you could maybe stay after and speak with the solicitor to share your information, because
Okay.
that information
Can be-
is not clear to us, is already in the record, and that
'Cause
would
that
be
could
important
that could change
information
things.
about what the charges
Yeah.
are.
Exactly.
That could actually
That's,
elevate.
yeah, that's,
elevate.
that's been postponed like 4 times now.
And yeah, so if you don't mind, because I just don't want to speak about the specifics to
Okay.
potentially prejudice the case.
In the public forum,
Not
but
to
it's
show-
certainly
but-
information that
exactly.
would likely be important.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So he has a job after this meeting, and I'll also get with you after this meeting, and we'll touch base.
Thank you.
It would help us if, while this is being elevated in the court to this level, I would expect that things will get worse on our street before they get better. It would help if the police had, I don't know how they do it, but if they made all of the officers aware that, hey, this is probably going down, and it's probably gonna be a little bit worse in this area.
Well, I know they've had, and Deputy Chief, you can speak to this, directed patrols to this point.
Yeah, we have directed patrols out there, we have special checks out there, we have radar posts out there. I hear your frustrations. They know our cars, they know we've tried to use our unmarked cars, we've tried to use other cars. They know who we are, but we are out there, we are checking, but I will pass this on. I already sent an email to everybody in the department so that they know that what happened today in court, we're just waiting on the final after the end of court today. And I'll put out that information, and I can certainly have more checks out there. We try our best, believe me, our officers would like to see this resolved as much as you would.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, no.
Last point, who would be, so if we have continuing concerns about this, who would be the best point person to email?
You
Would
can
it
go
be
to,
you, Steve?
yep, you can go right.
But no,
Yeah, I think-
the police department is your, absolutely.
Yeah.
The response is immediate with the police department. Anything related to the garage use for car repair or things related to what's happening in their home that's not affecting your safety directly, certainly Mr. Salick would be the appropriate person for that. The harassment, running off the road, anything that could affect your safety, livelihood, or frankly, ability to live in peace on your very own street should go first to the police department. The deputy chief is very much aware of everything going on, and she will be sure after tonight's meeting that everyone here is in the loop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything that needs to be said that I didn't catch? I was gonna talk.
We just,
Come on up.
if you could just state your name and address. for the record.
Joe Schwint, 1134 Rural. I've been on the street for 20-plus years now. I wasn't going to say anything, but I wanted to back up Seth and Andy. I won't even walk down Hedwig if I see cars there because it's just not worth dealing with them anymore. And I know the police department is well aware because whenever a call goes in, not one officer, at least 2, sometimes 3 come out. And I know they run single cars in, I think, 4 different areas. So they're well aware, and they're doing the best they can. But like I said, I've been swerved at. Almost everybody back here has been swerved at, yelled at, cursed at. It's not just Seth and Andy. And I don't know, way back when, I remember Carrie, we happened to be walking, and before it escalated to this and being in front of a township meeting, Carrie walked over with her young kids and made an effort to say, like a neighborly effort, before police and stuff were. And we were walking, we were talking to Seth. Seth was getting concerned because Carrie hadn't come back yet. Carrie come back and said, I think that went well. I talked to Josh and things went well. I said, oh, you don't know them. I said, as soon as that front door closed, he was on the phone talking to Mommy. And sure enough, when Mommy came down the street, she stopped in front of the 4 of us, yelled and screamed, who do you think you are, coming over my house, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't want to take up a whole lot of time. But I just wanted you guys to know that it's not just Andy and Seth. It's the whole street. The front of the street, the back of the street. I'm fortunate I live past Hedwig next to the maintenance yard, so I don't have to deal with the constant But right now, we have donut tracks in, I'm gonna say the Township cul-de-sac, because the other night after they were out, they were racing up and down the street with their lights out, doing donuts in the cul-de-sacs and stuff, so. I know the police departments, wherever, but I just want to, it's not just Seth and Carrie, it's the whole street. And like Seth said, somebody's gonna get hurt sooner rather than later. And especially after this morning's stuff in court and tonight, it's gonna escalate, exactly like Seth said. So, just wanted to let you guys know that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the additional information.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Bud. How are you?
Good.
I'm fine. I'm Bud Lamiel, 1100 Rural Avenue. I have the distinct honor to be the oldest continuing resident on Rural Avenue.
I think in the township.
I don't know if that's...
just guessing, but.
I just would like to say a few things. During my wife's last months of life, the constant driving up and down the street made her life miserable. I fear for my neighbors walking that street. There needs to be something done. From what I've read and stuff that I've heard, the prosecutor doesn't seem to be doing her job. Perhaps, since she works for this township, the township needs to look into it. What has she done? Why hasn't she done her job? She's getting paid to do a job. Do it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud.
Thank you, Bud.
Any other public comment this evening?
Seeing no one, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The public comment is now closed. And we have one final matter, a bit of a congratulatory matter. We have a number of people here from Eastern and the Eastern Track team, and we're going to be presenting commendations to the Eastern Track team. And I'd first just like to read, I'm not going to read the whole whereas commendation, I'm going to read some of it. Eastern High School's 2023 girls track team is celebrating the South Jersey Group 4 Sectional Championship, State Group 4 second place finish, and new school records in events at the New Balance Outdoor Nationals. Under the leadership of Coach Mike Tangeman and assistant coaches Barry Jackson, Alex Sherman, Nicole Meskin, and Julie Schenker, the members of the 2023 team took home medals in individual and team races. Whereas runners, and I apologize if I mispronounce any names, Cadence Dumas, John A. Stilley, Natalie Dumas, Zoe Goldberg, Tessie Osei Kaye, Mackenzie James, Lamaria Tangbeth, and Jonna Gonter not only won individual and team championships, but also set new school records. In recognition of their unwavering dedication, relentless work ethic, and outstanding achievements, Eastern High School's 2023 girls track team has exemplified the true spirit of excellence, setting a standard that will inspire and resonate for years to come. Now therefore, the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Voorhees hereby recognize the 2023 Eastern girls track team and coaches on their successful record-breaking season. Signed, Michael R. McNona, Mayor of Voorhees Township. So congratulations. Come on up. We have commendations for. Let's all go down there.
Yeah, but everyone likes sweet.
Yeah, we'll squeeze in. Yeah.
Come down here to the there's the car. Yes.
How many beer cans are for? What is the call? I do not do, yeah, good call. You can yell at it, perfect.
I hope they won't fix it and line up.
I think that's a good call.
Everyone take 4 steps this way. Go.
Yeah, we want to sign it.
Living in the day.
Yeah, take that.